in my life when I felt completely disconnected. Even when I was surrounded by people I love, there was this invisible wall between me and the world. I could see the beauty of light, the sky, the trees, the laughter of friends, but somehow it all felt like it was happening outside of me while I was locked away inside. Maybe you have felt that too. Like, no matter what you do, there is always this gap, this distance between you and life itself. And when that gap gets bigger, frustration, misery, even anger, they creep in, don't they? You start feeling like life is a constant struggle. Life is the world is like the world is against you. But here is the real questions I want you to ask. What if that invisible wall doesn't actually exist? What if the line we think separates me from everything else is just something we have imagined? And what if once that line disappears, the whole world doesn't feel against you anymore, but becomes a part of you? Stay with me till the very end of this video because what we are about to explore might change the way you look at life itself.
I don't have to tell you that we are mortal because you're soldiers, you always are conscious about this. But we are like tiny specks of dust in this universe. Many like you and me have come and gone, not a trace of them anywhere. But only a few we remember. We only remember those people who hardly did anything. But they were of a certain kind. Right from ancient times, well, we remember Shiva, he did nothing. He sat still or he danced, crazy man. But we remember him. We remember various yogis and saints and sages who did nothing. Nothing much in the world compared to the business people of the time, the kings of the time, the soldiers of the time, nothing much. But we remember them because their imprint on the planet is bigger than anybody else. This imprint happens not because they're trying to leave a footprint. Those who try to leave a footprint on the planet, they will never fly. If you want to leave a footprint, obviously you're not going to fly. Suppose among the 100 of you who are leaving strong footprints with your boots, suppose one of you flew across the border, just like that, not in an airplane, just like that. That one man you're going to remember forever, isn't it so? Because he transcended limitations that are supposed to be human. That's what needs to happen to every life. In some way, we must transcend the limitations of what we think are the limitations of being human. Just look at this today. If you utter the word human, people will only say, oh, I am only human. This means they're always using the word human with reference to their limitations. I'm only human. Very rarely you saw anybody saying, I'm human, not referring to the immensity of being human, always referring to the limitations of being human. What yoga means is, the word yoga means union. Union means there is you, and if you look at it in a limited perspective, there is you and the other. But if you look at it in the larger perspective, there is you and the universe. You versus the universe. See, this is where the border is, not there. This is where the border is me and the rest of the universe. Here there is a border. If you cross this border successfully, then we say you are a yogi, you become one with everything. If you do not cross this border, you will have to always guard it, which you know is very odorous. So when you realize this and you consciously cross the border, then you're referred to as a yogi. If you're able to cross the border, suddenly you will not refer to the human being. The word human will not come out of your mouth anymore referring to the limitations. You will talk about human referring to the immensity of being human. Because once you cross the border, the whole world is yours. So, you must guard the borders of the nation. This border, you must tear it open. This is why you are here, to do some yoga. Means to open up this border. This need not be guarded. That border, unfortunately, we have to guard because people still in this world have not matured enough to live without a border. Hmm? We have not matured to that place where nations can live without border. So, coming together is still far away. Lot of maturity needs to happen. I don't believe it'll happen in our lifetime. So, you have to guard the border. That's the only way. And you were saying the peaceful, wonderful yoga center? We are living very peacefully, wonderfully, because all of you are standing there on the border. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here peacefully, wonderfully. Thank you very much for being here.
So take a moment right now. Just pause, notice the rhythm of your breath. Notice how life is happening in you and around you all at once. Sometimes life as if there is a wall between us and the world, as if we are just one small person fighting through life. But when we pause, when we simply breathe and become aware, you may sense that the boundary isn't as strong as it seems. Imagine standing under a vast open sky, the star above and the wind brushing against your face. The ground is steady beneath your feet. In that moment, do you really feel separate? Or do you feel like you belong here as much as the star, the wind, and the earth itself? When you allow yourself to soften, you begin to see that the universe is not out there. It is not something separate from you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought, these are also the universe at work. And when you see that, a deep sense of ease arises. Life doesn't feel like something to conquer anymore. It feels like something to embrace. We live in a world where stress, division, and boundaries are everywhere. People draw lines between countries, between communities, and even between one another. But the deepest border is the one we carry inside, the line we draw between ourselves and everything else. When that line becomes lighter, life begins to flow in a very different way. So, as you go back into your day, I invite you to carry this with you. Try to notice the moment when you feel separate. Ask yourself, is this separation real or it is something I have created in my mind? Even a small shift in perspective can open doors to an experience of life that feels far more whole, far more connected. And remember, you don't have to force this, you don't have to chase it. Just being willing to look beyond that inner border is enough. Over time, you may find that the sense of me versus the world slowly begins to dissolve, and in its place, there is a quiet, gentler way of being. So take a breath with me right now. Inhale deeply and slowly let it go. Feel how you are here alive and a part of something vast and beautiful. This feeling itself is a reminder you are not outside of life, you are life itself. As always, do remember this is not a summary of Sadhguru's word, it is simply my interpretation of the deep wisdom he imparted. Kindly keep them separated and do not misunderstand. Thank you for joining, and we will see you tomorrow. Until then, please take care. Namaskaram.
चंद्रचूड़ शिव शंकर पार्वती रमणा निनगे